What's up guys, Knife Fanatic here, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I wanted to make a video on just basically how to dye, how to use RIT dye to dye knife scales. I think it's mostly going to work on lighter colored scales like either jade or white, or just pretty much any other type of lighter color scale is going to work for micarta, Grivory G10, and there might be some other materials that I'm missing, but anyways, we have the Demko AD20.5 here in these Grivory jade scales, and this is the AUS 10 version with the nice drop point blade there, and I wanted to see if I can dye them purple because that's the only RIT dye I have right now. But basically what you're gonna need, and real quick, these are some, well, they used to be white G10 scales. This is the Devo Knives Growler V2, and this was originally the Stormtrooper model. It had white G10 scales with this black blade, and I dyed them purple, and I think they came out really nice. And I want to try, you know, RIT dyeing a different material like Grivory now, and see if I can get a similar or close result. So yeah, I think it'll be pretty interesting and fun. So some things that you'll need for this are, first of all, a pot that you don't mind ruining or, you know, getting RIT dye in it, because the RIT dye will stain it. Anything that you're going to be coming in contact with the RIT dye is going to have a chance of being permanently stained. So again, just be cautious of that throughout this whole process. So you're going to need some gloves, a pot that you're not going to, you know, have to worry about ruining, and let's see, some dish soap that's going to help in, I guess, aiding the RIT dye to kind of absorb into the material or just being distributed properly. I'm not really sure what the purpose of the detergent is, but the bottle of RIT dye does say to add some, let's see if I can, yeah, it just says add 1 teaspoon of liquid dish detergent, and doesn't say why. But yeah, you're gonna need whatever RIT dye you want. I got this synthetic RIT dye, more royal purple. You can dye polyester, nylon, acrylic with it. So Grivory is a fiberglass reinforced nylon, I believe. So this should dye pretty well. This is a jade color, so it might turn out a little bit different because it has this kind of coloring to it. The white G10 with these purple scales, I think, came out perfect. I couldn't be happier, honestly. But if they come out like this, then I'll be super stoked. But if not, that's fine too. It's just a learning process. But yeah, so what do we got? Pot, gloves, your RIT dye, dish soap. You're gonna need some isopropyl alcohol just to kind of clean off the scales, get all that oil, grease, lube, and all that stuff off the scales. You're gonna need something to stir the pot with. I just have this seatbelt cutter that I don't really use or care about. And just maybe like a paper plate and some towels to kind of let the scales sit and dry on afterwards. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take this knife apart, and I don't really think y'all need to see that. I mean, I'm sure there's tons of videos of stripping the AD20.5, so I don't want to bore y'all with that and waste time on this video. So if y'all want to go see someone taking this apart, then I'm sure there's tons of videos on that. And so yeah, we'll see y'all when this knife is completely taken apart and at the stove. Oh, one thing that I did forget to mention is that you will need some either paracord or like some wire hanger so you can attach the scales to and dunk them in the pot. So yeah. Alright guys, so we're at the stove here. Two more things that I forgot to mention that you're going to need. Just kind of like one of these solo cups, or just pretty much any cup will work that's disposable. And some white vinegar. I believe the white vinegar is going to help the dye kind of absorb into the scales. So we'll go ahead and start off by filling up our pot here. What I do is I usually, it's about 4 cups of water to about half a cup of the dye. So we'll go ahead and fill up our pot here. So here's about 2 cups. And it's important to note that you want to add all of your liquids prior to the dye, just so if it splashes, it doesn't get anywhere. And then we're just gonna throw some of this vinegar in there. That should do. And then we'll go ahead and get this sucker started. Let's see. And our dish soap here, just about a teaspoon or tablespoon, whatever, it doesn't really matter. Just kind of eyeballing this whole thing. This is what I did, you know, the first time I used the RIT dye on my G10 scales for the growler. So we'll hope we get some good results the second time. All right, well, while we're waiting for this to start boiling a little bit, we want to just go over some things real quick with y'all. So when you dip your scales, you want to make sure that you dip them both at the same time, because, you know, if you dip one and then, you know, dip another, then you have a chance of not getting, you know, an even dye on both the scales, and one might look darker than the other or whatever. So you just want to make sure that you dye both of the scales at the same time. Luckily, when I dyed my white G10 scales, I did them separately, but somehow they came out to look pretty much perfect. So I got kind of lucky with that, but this time I will be dyeing both of the scales at the same time. And so yeah, and we're just gonna kind of stir this up a little bit. And for the RIT dye, I usually do, at least last time, it was about, I'd say, half a cup. It was probably about up to right here maybe. So yeah, it looks like maybe 3/4 of a cup or so. We'll go ahead and get our RIT dye ready. You want to shake the bottle up, make sure the cap is secured. Let's see. Yeah, we could probably do a little bit more. I'd say that's about half a cup or so, yeah. Right, we could do a little bit more. That should be good. Put our red dye back. So, yeah, this is, I don't know if y'all can probably see through the lighting there, but I'd say it's about right there, so yeah. So probably about half a cup, a little bit more maybe. I'm going to be turning this fan on as well once we get the red dye poured in here, because I'm pretty sure it's probably not good to be breathing in those red dye fumes. So all right, ladies and gentlemen, so we're starting to get to a little boil here, looks like. And then we're gonna we'll go ahead and add our red dye. And we're gonna turn on the fan here. I'm just gonna go ahead and throw this cup in the trash. And yeah, it looks really dark. So should work. Get this closer here. Got a little boil going, just turn it down a little bit. We just need a nice little boil going. Nothing crazy. So go ahead and dunk these scales in. Let's go ahead. Yeah. Turn the heat back up just a little bit. There we go. And I don't really time it or anything. I just kind of dunk them a little bit, take them out, look at them. You know, just kind of shake them in there a little bit, so they're not just sitting on the bottom of the pot. Dunk them a little bit, look at them. Oh, those look really nice already. Oh yeah. We'll leave them in there a little bit longer. Turn the heat up just a little bit. I don't know if y'all can really get a good look at that, but it looks like they're coming out pretty good. I feel like I'm making some tea right now with this motion, this tea bag motion in my hands. Oh yeah, those are looking very nice. Let me, I'm just waiting for them to kind of dry out and inspect them through the light a little bit and see how they look. Yeah, those look really nice. I don't know if they can get any darker, but I think that should be good. Let's see. I'm just waiting for him to dry a little bit. Yeah, I think those are done, boys. Let's turn this heat off. Oh yeah. I don't know if y'all can really tell, but man, that came out really nice. Really nice dark purple. Man, this Gryver really absorbed this RIT dye well. So yeah, go ahead and we'll wash these scales off real quick under some cold water. Let them dry out for a bit, and we'll come back to you. Alright guys, so we got our scales out and we rinsed them under some cold water. Now we're just going to dry them off a little bit. So far I'm pretty happy with how they came out. We'll get a closer look once they're dried off here. Yeah guys, check these out. Yeah. Really cool. We'll compare it to the first one I did, but yeah, way darker. Still looks really good though. I love both of these. They both turned out really well, in my opinion. But yeah, let's get some light here on it. Whoops, that is extremely bright. Let's see if God, that is blinding. What is the... Okay, well, nope, that's not gonna work either. There we go. It's a little bit better. But yeah, I think these came out fantastic. Man, this flashlight has like no chill. It's the Through Night BSS V5. It's like some crazy tactical with a nasty bezel on it for impacts. But stupid bright. Like, this is gonna blind you for infinity and beyond. Yeah guys, let's throw these back on the scale, or let's throw these scales back on the knife, shall we? And we'll get back to you. So yeah, guys, here she is. Man, these scales look really nice. Super happy with how they came out, and I left the backspacer on purpose. I didn't dye it on purpose just because I wanted to see how it'd look, and I don't think it looks too bad. I think it looks all right, but I can always go back and dye it if I want. It might be, I think it might have looked better if it were just completely white instead of the jade color, but it's still nice. But yeah, these purple scales, guys, these are super nice. Just like the purple and the black look so good together. Yeah. Again, this is my second time using RIT dye ever, and this was the first time using the RIT dye. Man, look at that combination. Gorgeous. Man, purple and black just look so good together. I don't know what it is, but really nice combination. I might eventually go back and dye these just a little bit darker. I don't know. What do you guys think? What do y'all think of the new scales on the AD20.5? I think they look pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie. And do y'all think I should go back and dye these a darker purple, or just leave them as is? Because they got that kind of like micarta look to them. Man, they look really nice, guys. Super happy with how they turned out on both knives. Man, look at that. Well, guys, hope you enjoyed. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll see you in the next one. Knife Fanatic out.